First contact with the void. Commander Elena Torres stood at the observation deck of the ESS Horizon, watching the strange readings flutter across her neural display. The massive research vessel hung in high orbit above Proxima, humanity's first extrasolar colony. Something was wrong with space itself. She could feel it in her bones, a sensation that the ship's advanced sensors couldn't quite capture. "Commander, we're detecting another anomaly." Lieutenant Park's voice crackled through the ship's comm system. "It's different from the others." Vigor. Elena's enhanced muscles tensed instinctively, a reminder of the genetic modifications all Earth-born humans carried. Adaptations necessary for survival on their high-gravity homeworld. Those same modifications had made them objects of fascination to the wider galactic community when first contact occurred 3 years ago. "Show me," she ordered, her neural implants already connecting to the ship's primary sensor array. The holographic display materialized before her, showing a tear in the fabric of space-time that shouldn't exist. Unlike the previous anomalies they'd been tracking, this one pulsed with an otherworldly energy that made her enhanced senses scream in warning. The ship's AI, spoke next. "Commander, I'm detecting quantum signatures consistent with a Class 4 civilization approaching through normal space. Configuration matches Galactic Council vessels." Elena straightened her uniform. The Galactic Council rarely ventured this far into human space. They found Earth's gravity uncomfortable, even with their advanced technology. For them to arrive now, unannounced, meant something had changed. The Council ship materialized from fold space in a burst of crystalline light. It was beautiful in an alien way, all sweeping curves and impossible geometries. Elena's enhanced vision could pick out details that would be invisible to unmodified humans. The subtle shimmer of its quantum shields, the microscopic imperfections in its bioorganic hull. "They're requesting immediate contact," Araya reported. "Priority signal. Put them through to the observation deck," Elena commanded, preparing herself for whatever crisis had brought the Council to their doorstep. The air shimmered, and 3 figures appeared. 2 were Lorraine, their crystalline bodies refracting light in complex patterns that Elena's enhanced brain automatically analyzed for emotional content. The third was a nexus, a being of pure energy contained within a humanoid framework of quantum-locked particles. "Commander Torres," the taller Lorraine spoke, its voice a harmony of crystalline tones. "I am High Counselor Zara. We come with grave news." Elena nodded, noting the distinct pattern of distress and the counselor's light refraction. "We've been detecting anomalies. Tears in space-time that shouldn't be possible. You can sense them." The nexus moved forward, its energy form flickering with what Elena recognized as surprise. "Without quantum scanning technology. All humans can, to some degree," Elena explained. "We evolved on a world where spatial anomalies were common. Earth's core generates unusual quantum fields. Our scientists believe it's why we developed such robust neural architecture." The aliens exchanged meaningful looks. "This confirms our theories," Zara said. "The entity we've been tracking. It's avoiding Council space now, focusing its attacks on sectors where our sensors are blind. But you can see it, can't you? You can feel what it's doing to reality itself." Elena's enhanced mind made the connection instantly. The tears aren't random. They're being created deliberately. Something is hunting in our space. "Yes," the Nexus confirmed. "We call them void entities, ancient beings that feed on the quantum fabric of reality itself. For millennia, they slept in the spaces between dimensions. Now they're waking up, and our civilization lacks the sensory capability to track them effectively." "But humans can," Elena said, understanding dawning. "That's why you're here. You need our help." "We need more than help, Commander." Zara's crystalline form pulsed with urgency. "We need humanity to join the Galactic Council as full members, effective immediately. Your species' unique abilities may be our only hope of stopping these entities before they tear reality apart." Elena looked back at the sensor display, at the growing tear in space-time that her enhanced senses could feel like a wound in reality itself. She thought about Earth, about the generations of evolution in high gravity that had given humanity their robust bodies and unique neural architecture. What had once been seen as a disadvantage, being from a death world, might now be the key to saving the galaxy. "Tell me everything," she said, her enhanced muscles tensing for the challenge ahead. "If something's threatening reality itself, it's about to learn why picking a fight with Deathworlders is a very bad idea." The Nexus's energy form brightened. "Commander Torres, have you ever wondered why humans are the only species we've encountered who can survive their homeworld's gravity without technological assistance?" "Evolutionary necessity," Elena replied, but she could tell there was more to it. "Perhaps," Zora interjected, "or perhaps your species was meant to be exactly what you are. The guardians we never knew we needed, born on a world that forged you into something unique in all the galaxy." Outside the observation window, the tear in reality pulsed ominously, but Elena felt no fear. Humanity had survived and thrived on a world that should have crushed them. Whatever these void entities were, they were about to discover what that meant. The Deathworld Advantage. The Galactic Council's primary research station, orbiting Jupiter, hummed with activity as scientists from a dozen species worked alongside their human counterparts. Commander Elena Torres watched through reinforced windows as another test subject demonstrated humanity's unique capabilities in the quantum detection chamber. Maria Patel, a mining engineer from Mars Colony, floated in the crystalline chamber while her neural patterns were mapped and analyzed. Like all humans, her brain could naturally detect quantum disturbances, but Maria's sensitivity was exceptional even by human standards. "Remarkable," Chief Scientist Anxelera observed, their energy form fluctuating with excitement. "Her neural architecture is actually reorganizing itself to better process the quantum information. No other species we studied can adapt at this level." Elena nodded, her enhanced vision tracking the subtle changes in Maria's brainwave patterns. "It's how we survived Earth. Our bodies and minds had to become incredibly adaptable just to function under those conditions." The station's AI chimed in, its holographic avatar materializing beside them. "New data from the Luna defense grid. 3 more tiers detected in the Kuiper belt. The void entity is getting closer." Elena's muscles tensed automatically, another gift from her Deathworld heritage. Where other species required extensive technological assistance to function in varying gravity conditions, humans could operate effectively across a wide range of environments. Their bones were denser, their muscles more efficient, their nervous systems more resilient. "Show me the tactical display," she ordered. A 3-dimensional map of the solar system appeared, showing the progression of reality tiers. The pattern was clear now. The entity was testing their defenses, probing for weaknesses. "Commander," Maria called from the chamber, her voice tense. "Something's different. The quantum signature. It's changing." Before Elena could respond, alarms blared throughout the station. The tactical display erupted with new data as a massive tear began forming just beyond Mars' orbit. This wasn't like the others. It was orders of magnitude larger. "Multiple void entity signatures detected," the AI reported. "They're coordinating their attacks." The Lorani scientists backed away from their consoles, their crystalline forms clouding with fear. Even Anxelera's energy pattern showed signs of distress. Only the humans in the room remained calm, their Deathworld instincts kicking in. "They're learning," Elena realized. "Every tier we detect, every probe we stop, they're gathering data on our capabilities." She turned to Maria, who was already emerging from the chamber. "What exactly did you sense?" "They're not just creating tiers anymore," Maria explained, her eyes focused on something only she could see. "They're weaving them together, creating some kind of quantum web. It's like they're trying to trap us." Elena's enhanced mind processed this information rapidly, another adaptation from Earth's high-gravity environment, where quick thinking often meant the difference between life and death. Or maybe they're the ones who feel trapped. She approached the main console, her fingers flying over the holographic controls. Look at the pattern. They're not attacking randomly. They're creating a perimeter. These entities aren't hunting us. They're afraid of us. Anxulara moved closer, their energy form pulsing with curiosity. Afraid? Of biological entities. Think about it, Elena continued. You said these beings have existed for eons, feeding on reality itself. Then suddenly, they encounter a species that can not only detect them, but potentially hurt them. We're the first real threat they faced. The tactical display updated again, showing more tiers forming. But now Elena could see what she'd missed before. The entities weren't attacking. They were creating barriers between themselves and Earth. Commander Torres is correct. The station's AI confirmed. Analysis of tier patterns suggests defensive rather than offensive positioning. Maria joined them at the console, her mining engineer's experience providing a fresh perspective. In the asteroid fields, when we encounter unstable pockets of space, we don't just detect them. Our presence actually affects them. What if we're not just sensing these entities? What if we're naturally disruptive to their existence? Helena's enhanced muscles tensed with anticipation. This was why humans had survived on their death world, not just through physical adaptation, but through their ability to turn apparent disadvantages into strengths. Begin full neural mapping of all human subjects, she ordered. Focus on how our quantum sensitivity actively affects the tiers. If our mere presence disrupts these entities, imagine what we could do if we learned to weaponize that ability. The Loreni scientists exchanged worried looks, but Anxulara's energy form brightened with understanding. You intend to turn your evolutionary adaptations into a defense system. Better. Elena smiled, her expression carrying the confidence of a species that had conquered one of the galaxy's most challenging worlds. We're going to remind these entities why attacking a Deathworld species was their biggest mistake. Humanity didn't just survive Earth's gravity. We mastered it. Now we'll do the same with quantum mechanics. As if in response to her words, another series of tiers began forming. But this time, Elena didn't see a threat. She saw opportunity. The void entities had awakened humanity to their true potential, and soon they would learn why that was a terrible mistake. Operation Earthborn Shield. The massive assembly hall of the Luna Defense Base buzzed with activity as representatives from every human colony gathered to witness humanity's response to the void entity threat. Commander Elena Torres stood at the central platform, surrounded by holographic displays showing the quantum defense network that now spanned the solar system. The entities have established a containment perimeter around our space, Elena explained, her enhanced vision tracking the reactions of the assembled leaders. But what they intended as a cage, we're turning into our testing ground. Maria Patil, now heading the Quantum Research Division, stepped forward. Her neural interfaces glowed as she connected to the base's AI network. We've confirmed our initial hypothesis. Human neural patterns don't just detect quantum disturbances. They actively stabilize local spacetime. We're like walking reality anchors. The holographic display shifted, showing recordings from their first successful test. A small tear in spacetime near Titan collapsed as a team of human miners approached it, their mere presence forcing reality back into proper alignment. Every human colony is now a hardpoint in our defense network, Elena continued. The higher gravity environments we chose for settlement aren't just familiar to us. They're actually amplifying our natural abilities. Admiral Chen of the Mars fleet raised his hand. What about the Council worlds? Reports show the entities are intensifying their attacks on less protected systems. Elena nodded grimly. That's why we're launching Operation Earthborn Shield. The Council has provided us with their fastest ships, modified to accommodate Earth normal gravity. We're deploying human teams to their most vulnerable systems. The display changed again, showing the modified Council vessels. Their sleek forms now bore distinctive reinforced sections, areas designed to maintain Earth gravity conditions for their human crews. There's more, Maria added, manipulating the holographic controls. We've developed a way to artificially amplify our quantum stabilization effect. The entities aren't just avoiding human space now, they're retreating from it. The assembly erupted in excited murmurs as Maria demonstrated their latest breakthrough. The recording showed a specialized chamber where human neural patterns were focused and amplified, creating a wave of quantum stability that literally pushed back the void. Every human being is now a weapon in this war, Elena declared. Our very existence disrupts these entities' ability to maintain their form in our reality, and thanks to our evolution on Earth, we can operate in environments that would cripple most species. A representative from the Jupiter colony spoke up. What about the long-term effects? Are we risking damage to the fabric of space-time itself? Actually, we're healing it, Maria explained. The void entities tear reality apart to feed. Our presence naturally repairs those tears. It's why they fear us. We're not just fighting them. We're undoing everything they've done. Elena stepped forward again, her enhanced muscles moving with the fluid grace of someone born to high gravity. The council thought they were recruiting soldiers. Instead, they found guardians. Every adaptation that helped us survive Earth is now helping us protect the galaxy. The tactical display updated, showing the deployment plans for Operation Earthborne Shield. Human teams would be stationed throughout Council space, creating a network of protected zones where the entities couldn't maintain their form. We're not just defending ourselves anymore, Elena continued. We're taking the fight to them. These entities have existed for eons, feeding on reality itself. But they've never encountered anything like humanity, a species born in the crush of high gravity, whose very presence strengthens the fabric of space-time. Maria pulled up the latest sensor readings. The entities are consolidating their forces. They're preparing for something big. Let them come, Elena responded, her voice carrying the confidence of her species. They thought Earth's gravity would keep us trapped on our world. Instead, it forged us into something unique in the galaxy. Now they'll learn why you don't threaten a species that turned a Deathworld into their cradle. The assembly hall erupted in determined cheers as the deployment orders were transmitted. Across human space, ships began powering up their drives. Operation Earthborne Shield was launching, and with it, humanity's first major offensive against the entities that had dared to threaten their reality. In the quantum monitoring chamber, the sensors tracked another large tear forming at the edge of human space. But this time, no one showed fear. The entities were about to discover that evolution on a death world hadn't just made humanity strong. It had made them exactly what the galaxy needed. The heart of darkness. The ES horizon hung at the edge of known space, its quantum shields pulsing with energy as it faced the largest reality tear ever detected. Commander Elena Torres stood on the bridge, her enhanced senses screaming warnings about the wrongness ahead. The ship's crew, all volunteers from high-gravity worlds, maintained their stations with steady determination. Final checks complete, Maria Patol reported from her station, neural interfaces glowing as she monitored the experimental quantum drive. The reinforced reality bubble is holding steady. We can maintain Earth-normal conditions even inside the tear. Elena nodded, watching the swirling void before them. Operation Earthborne Shield had been successful beyond their wildest expectations. Human presence throughout Council space had forced the entities to retreat, but they hadn't defeated them. The tiers had simply shifted, concentrating into this single massive rupture in space-time. Status report from the Council fleet, Elena asked, though her enhanced vision could already pick out the crystalline ships holding position behind them. They're maintaining safe distance, the ship's A responded. Their sensors can't penetrate the tear, but they're ready to provide support if needed. The mission was unprecedented. No ship had ever attempted to enter a reality tear before, but the horizon had been specially modified. Its hull reinforced with layers of quantum-stabilized materials and its interior permanently maintained at Earth gravity. The very conditions that other species found crushing would help protect the human crew from the void's effects. New readings, Maria called out, her voice tense. The tear isn't just a passage, it's alive. The entire structure is a single vast entity. Alina's enhanced mind processed this revelation quickly. They haven't been running away. They've been combining their power, forming something new. The tactical display updated, showing energy patterns that rippled through the tear like nerve impulses through living tissue. What they had thought was a retreat had actually been a metamorphosis. All stations, prepare for insertion, Alina ordered. Active quantum stabilization at maximum. Let's show these entities what humans do best, turning hostile environments into our playground. The Horizon's engines pulsed, pushing them toward the tier. As they crossed the threshold, reality itself seemed to shudder. The ship's quantum shields flared as they encountered forces that shouldn't exist in normal space. Hull integrity holding, engineering reported. Earth gravity field is actually strengthening our position. The denser spacetime around us is acting like armor against the void. They pushed deeper into the tear, their sensors revealing a landscape of impossible geometry. What looked like organic structures twisted through the void, pulsing with energy that made normal physics cry out in protest. But the human crew remained steady, their Deathworld evolution making them uniquely suited to operate in this hostile environment. Multiple entity signatures converging, Maria warned. They're reacting to our presence. The void around them writhed as massive shapes emerged from the quantum chaos. They were beautiful in their alienness, beings of pure energy and twisted spacetime, older than stars, and just as powerful. But Alina saw something else in their movements. Fear. They're trying to seal us in, she realized. Cut off our retreat. Commander, Maria's voice was urgent. I'm detecting something at the heart of the tear. It's like looking at Earth's core, but wrong. The quantum signatures are inverted. Alina's enhanced vision focused on the sensor readings, her mind making connections that would be impossible for most species. It's not just a nest or a fortress. It's a genesis point. They're trying to birth something into our reality. The ship shuddered as the entities launched their first direct attack. Waves of distorted spacetime crashed against their shields, trying to unravel the very fabric of their existence. But the human crew stood firm, their natural quantum stability creating a bubble of order in the chaos. Push forward, Alina commanded. Maximum power to the quantum stabilization field. We're not here to observe. We're here to end this. The Horizon's engines roared as they drove deeper into the heart of the void. Around them, the entities became more frenzied, their attacks more desperate. But with each assault, the crew's confidence grew. Their presence wasn't just disrupting the entities, it was forcing reality itself to behave properly. We're approaching the genesis point, Maria reported. But there's something else. These readings. Commander, I don't think these entities are attacking us anymore. They're trying to stop us from seeing something. Alina watched as new data flooded the tactical display. The entities' movements weren't random or even aggressive. They were protective, like antibodies swarming around an infection. But in this case, humanity wasn't the infection. They're not the invasion, she breathed, understanding dawning. They're the defense system, and whatever they're trying to stop from being born. A massive pulse of energy interrupted her words as they finally reached the heart of the tear. What they found there would change humanity's understanding of reality forever. Guardians of reality. At the heart of the reality tear, the ESS Horizon faced something that defied comprehension. The genesis point pulsed with dark energy, but it wasn't creating, it was consuming. Ancient quantum patterns collapsed into its maw, each one carrying uns of accumulated spacetime. It's a quantum singularity, Maria Patel announced, her neural interfaces struggling to process the readings. But it's not natural. Something's been building it, feeding it, preparing it for birth. Commander Alina Torres finished, her enhanced vision picking up patterns that the ship's sensors couldn't detect. The void entities aren't creating tears to attack us. They're trying to prevent that thing from spreading. The tactical display showed the truth they'd been missing. The entity's apparent attacks had actually been attempts to stabilize reality against this greater threat. Their retreat hadn't been from humanity. They'd been gathering strength to contain this quantum cancer. New contact. Maria's voice cut through the tension. Something's emerging from the singularity. The void twisted as a massive form began to take shape. Unlike the elegant energy patterns of the void entities, this being was wrong in ways that made reality itself scream. It was a paradox given form, a negation of existence trying to force its way into their universe. The entities, Alina realized, they're not invaders. They're antibodies. Reality's own immune system trying to fight this infection. But they're losing. The ship's quantum shields flared as waves of anti-reality washed over them. But where other species' technology would have failed, the Horizon's Earth gravity field held firm. The same crushing force that had shaped humanity's evolution now helped them stand against the impossible. "Commander," Maria called out, "the entities, they're trying to communicate." Through their neural interfaces, the human crew received a flood of quantum data. Images and concepts beyond normal space-time showed the truth. The entities had been created by ancient civilizations as guardians, programmed to prevent the birth of beings that could unmake reality itself. But they were failing, their power insufficient against this new threat. Alina's enhanced mind raced through the implications. They didn't fear us because we could detect them. They feared us because we could do what they couldn't, naturally stabilize space-time itself. The massive form continued to emerge, its very existence causing reality to unravel around it. But where it touched the ship's Earth gravity field, it recoiled. The same forces that had made Earth a death world were poisoned to this anti-reality being. "Full power to the quantum stabilization field," Alina ordered. "Broadcast on all frequencies to the Council fleet. Send them everything we've learned. If we fail here, they need to know what they're facing." The crew responded with the efficiency born of evolution on an unforgiving world. The Horizon's systems hummed as they pushed their quantum field to maximum strength, creating a bubble of pure, stable reality in the heart of chaos. "The entities," Maria reported, "they're aligning with us. Their energy patterns are synchronizing with our quantum field." Alina watched as the ancient guardians of reality joined forces with humanity. Where their power alone had been insufficient, combined with humanity's natural stability, they created something new, a perfect fusion of biological adaptation and engineered purpose. "Push forward," Alina commanded. "Let's show this thing why you don't mess with Deathworlders." The Horizon advanced, its Earth gravity field now amplified by the combined power of the void entities. The anti-reality being lashed out, trying to unmake them with impossible physics. But against the combined might of humanity's evolutionary advantages and the entity's ancient purpose, it found itself outmatched. "The singularity is destabilizing," Maria announced. "Whatever this thing is, it can't maintain its form against our combined field." Alina felt a fierce pride as she watched the monster that threatened all existence being forced back by the very adaptations that had once marked humanity as primitive. "Initiate quantum cascade. Full power." The ship's generators screamed as they pushed beyond their designed limits. The Earth gravity field expanded, reinforced by the void entity's power, creating a wave of pure, stable reality that crashed through the tear like a tsunami of order against chaos. The anti-reality being howled in frequencies that shouldn't exist as it was forced back into its singularity. The void entities surged forward with humanity's power behind them, sealing the breach with a combination of engineered quantum mechanics and natural stability that could never be broken. As the last traces of the tear sealed themselves, Alina received one final transmission from the entities, not fear or hatred, but recognition. In humanity, they have found not just allies, but successors. Evolution on a crushing death world had created exactly what the universe needed, a species that could turn the very forces that should have destroyed them into the power to save reality itself. The ES at Horizon emerged from the sealed tear to find the Council fleet waiting, But humanity's role in the galaxy had changed forever. They were no longer just survivors of a death world. They were the living embodiment of reality's defense against chaos, working in harmony with the very beings they had once fought enemies. "Send word to command," Alina ordered, her voice carrying the weight of their victory. "Operation Earthborn Shield is now Operation Universal Guard. We're going to teach the rest of humanity how to do what we were born to do. Turn the harshest conditions into our greatest strengths." As the ship set course for Earth, Alina smiled. The crushing gravity that had shaped her species had prepared them for a destiny no one could have predicted. In the end, humanity's greatest weakness had become reality's greatest defense.